From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Ants Meats and Grocery is much more than a grocery store. We carry a full line of quality meats, local and organic vegetables, and a large variety of fish, Green Mountain Smart Control pellet grills, and a full deli case of sandwiches and side dishes.
Well, happy Friday morning to you. Hope you're having a good start to your work day. You know, we are getting close to the weekend, so there are a lot of great events going on over the weekend. There's always great stuff going on, right? And this weekend is no exception, right? And we've got the Manhattan Apple Festival going on Saturday. And this is something that's kind of held dear to my heart because this is an event I've been going to for years and years. And I have been a judge for the apple pie baking contest for over 20 years. And it starts at 10 o'clock. Be sure to come on by, say hi, although don't interrupt us too much because we're really focusing on judging those pies. But afterwards, I'm going to have a booth there, a Weather NorCal booth. It's going to allow me to help kind of spread the word more about Weather NorCal. I'll have some swag there for you, and I'll be there to answer any questions for you. And just stop by and say hello, and it'd be great to chat with you. So come on by from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'll probably have my booth up sometime around 11 o'clock or noon, because it does take us a little while to judge all those pies. But good times. Be sure to come on by, check it out. It's an event that just seems like it gets bigger and bigger, and pretty popular event. All right, so the foliage as of October 3rd, so earlier this week, this is what our foliage was looking like. So pretty good out towards Modoc County and not to mention into the Sierra, but not as impressive elsewhere. The forecast going into October 10th, so that's going to be basically on Monday, is looking pretty impressive here as well. In fact, we're getting past peak in some areas here, but for the most part, it looks like we're going to be in that high color to peak color here in the northern Sierra, and not to mention off into the southern Cascades. This right here over the weekend would be a great spot to check out some of that fall foliage. Things will probably start getting better here over the next couple of weeks off into Trinity County, Siskiyou County, western Siskiyou County, and not to mention even along the coast. So typically, of course, this is pretty accurate here, what we're seeing right now. Right here, that's basically saying late to mid-October is when we start seeing it. So yeah, we'll probably start seeing some more colors here pretty soon. If for the valley, though, it's not until, that's not until early to mid-November that we start seeing those colors. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer in the valley. All right, so here's the deal. You know, it's been a little breezy off and on over the last few days as expected. And, you know, it's going to continue off and on over the next few days. But we do have a cooling trend going into next week. But that cooling trend will also bring with it the potential for some rain, and some decent rain for some of us, especially along the coast. Now, the winds today, not a problem, although a little breezy off towards the eastern mountains here for today. But I want to show you something, because as we go into Saturday, look at the winds. You see how they're picking up a little bit here? Number one, notice too, they're actually coming more from the south. Now, typically with south winds, we're not terribly concerned because a north wind is what tends to really dry things out. But I want to show you something. This is the fire weather risk. It takes a look into account the winds, the temperature, and how much moisture we have. So for today, no issues, right? We don't have any risk. But Saturday, remember those winds picking up from the south? You see this? We're looking at a little bit of yellow and orange popping up, just a little bit elevated. Bottom line, even this time of the year, we still need to be careful. If the winds pick up, even from the south, it's just a good idea to take the necessary precautions and just play it safe. All right, so the heat, that's something we've been contending with. You know, the high at Redding was 96 degrees. We saw temperatures well into the 70s for the coast. In fact, 81 degrees in Crescent City, which, by the way, doesn't break a record. I believe the record for Crescent City is 88 degrees for yesterday. So yes, very warm temperatures even for the coast. But that warmer air is shifting eastward and will move to the south by next week, allowing our temperatures to drop. But this cooler air is moving in by Monday, Tuesday of next week, and that's what's going to really drop our temperatures down. But also, that will also bring us a chance for that rain I was talking about. But that moves out by Wednesday, Thursday, and warmer air moves back in. Now, we've got another ridge. It's going to warm back up again, but it's not going to be as warm as it is now, and we have been seeing. It's going to be warmer, but not quite what we saw with this system that we've got over us right now. All right, so future cast. You know, starting to see a little bit more confidence a little bit more consistency in the long-range forecast models, which when we start to see that consistency, we can start feeling more confident that there's a good chance that that may be what happens. There's going to be a little tweaking here and there over the next few days, but for the most part, here's what we can kind of in a general sense expect. So through the weekend, we're fine. No rain is in the forecast. We'll just start to see some clouds come in on Sunday. All right, now I'm going to take you into Monday morning. You're starting off your work week, and you'll be dealing with some wet roads, some heavy rainfall at times, maybe some gusty winds as the main cold front passes through. But this is going to be the main event for the coast. You're going to see the heaviest rainfall coming down Monday morning. Then that cold front will move over the valley by 10 o'clock Monday morning, somewhere around 10 or noon, right? Midday on Monday, we're seeing that potential here. Now, notice here, it's not as heavy as what we're seeing on the coast. That's normal, that's typical. And actually, typically, we see it break apart completely and the valley doesn't see any rain. But there's enough moisture, there's enough instability, there's enough strength in the cold front to bring some rain, decent chance for rain in the valley. Now this cold front, as it shifts eastward, it will weaken even more. Watch what happens as we go into Monday. Yeah, we're seeing some of that rain, but it's not quite as impressive as what we're seeing again on the coast, but still some showers off of the eastern mountains. You can see a stray shower here and there in other locations. Now, by Monday evening, around 6 p.m., for the most part, it's gone. I mean, there may be a little bit of activity, as you can see some of this light green here, but overall, it's starting to dry out. But there's another disturbance coming in Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Now, I think it'll mainly impact the mountains to Modoc County. Eastern mountains most likely dry, and not to mention in the valley and the surrounding foothills and mountains there as well. The bottom line, Tuesday night's system won't be nearly as impressive as the one that's coming through on Monday. Then after that, it dries out, and we've got dry conditions here through the end of next week, even into that next weekend. And by the way, Saturday is the day of that annular eclipse. We're going to have to watch to see if there are going to be some clouds, unfortunately, that may cover that eclipse. Hopefully it's not too much, but we'll see. Now you can also see some rain coming in, but that, again, that's a long ways out. Whether or not that actually materializes is the next question. But look at the rainfall outlook. Now this is, again, where we saw the bulk of the rain. And this is the trend. Heaviest rainfall on the coast, and it slowly starts to dissipate as you start heading eastward. So yeah, I mean, places like northern Humboldt, Del Norte County, 1 to 2 inches is not out of the question, and about a half an inch to an inch as you head down into southern Humboldt. A quarter to a half an inch out in Trinity County, and then again, you can see it's seeing less than that. Maybe a quarter to a half an inch in northern Shasta County, but there you can see less than that as you head southward. And I think we'll struggle to see a few hundredths of an inch of rainfall for parts of the eastern mountains. But bottom line, heaviest rainfall, not nearly as heavy off to the east. All right, so let's take a look at your wave heights for your Friday. Today, look at that. We're finally getting a break for all you fishermen or boaters and all that, right? Because we're seeing much lower wave heights. And in fact, as we go into Saturday, those wave heights are getting even lower. So let's take a look at your marine forecast. Because, of course, no advisory, it's just that patchy fog. And there you can see your high tide at 7:43 this morning and your low tide just shortly before the noon hour. And of course, we'll have a high and low tide again in the afternoon into the evening hours. All right, so it's another warm day. You know, as Redding saw a high of 96 yesterday, Chico saw a high of 93. It's going to be about the same today. I don't think we're going to break any records, but it's going to be pretty warm. I don't think we're going to see triple digits, but at least still in the low 90s. 70s and 80s for the higher elevations. These temperatures, again, may be on the low side. But overall, you can see warm for the coast, not to mention for the inland areas as well. All right, so here's your 7-day outlook. And we're going to be talking about the rain here because what we've got here on Monday for everyone, including Susanville, seeing a chance for rain. But it's going to be much lighter than, say, Mount Shasta. El Turas probably won't see a ton of rain either. Now, you'll also notice that Mount Shasta and El Turas could see a chance for a shower late in the day, probably more like Tuesday night as we go into Tuesday night. But I don't have anything for you in Susanville on Tuesday. So let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley, and there you have it. Sunny skies, beautiful weather, although pretty warm for the next few days. But it is starting to drop. We're in the upper 80s by Sunday and then upper 70s by Monday with that chance for rain coming in on Monday. And your 7-day forecast for the coast, yeah, Monday is the heaviest rainfall, especially in the morning. And then we've got some showers coming in on Tuesday. And some of them may linger on into Wednesday morning, but by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we should start to dry things out across the board.